just for this year, habang panahon ng pandemya, we are not going to have the ritual of the blessing of the throat with candles. You know, because we think of Jesus as a healer and a wonder worker, we often presuppose that he could work out a healing or a miracle whenever he wanted to. Today's gospel tells us there were times when he just could not do anything. And of all places, one of these times happened in his own hometown in Nazareth. St. Mark says it very explicitly. Wala siyang magawa. He was not able to perform any mighty deed there. And he also tells us he was amazed at their lack of faith. I mentioned about amazement a few days ago in that homily which I entitled, "What a Wonderful God." And there the amazement was positive. Here, it is negative. Their lack of faith practically had a very distressing, a very disabling effect on Jesus. Wala siyang magawa. There are many instances in the Gospels when Jesus practically attributes the healing to the faith of the one who asks for it. You remember the story of the blind man Bartimaeus, who even made a scene calling out on Jesus, saying, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And he tried really desperately to get the attention of Jesus. Take note, Jesus did not simply presuppose what Bartimaeus was asking for. He wanted it to come out of him explicitly. Sabi niya, "What do you want me to do for you?" You may react and you say, "Obvious ba, bulag siya? What does the blind want?" Well, malay mo. Maybe nagpapalimos lang siya. Jesus did not presuppose. He wanted the person to say it. And so the man said, "Master, I want to see." And then Jesus said, "Go your way, your faith has saved you." It is almost like Jesus is saying, "I do will it, but you have to will it too." In another healing story, this time of two blind men, in Matthew 9:28, Jesus in fact explicitly asks the two blind men, "Do you believe? Do you believe that I can do this?" And it was only after they said yes that Jesus laid hands on them and they got cured. In another instance, it is the disciples themselves who suffer from a faith issue when they are unable to exorcise a possessed boy. Now, Jesus tells them point blank when the disciples ask how come they were unable to work out a healing, he said, "Because you have so little faith." This line makes me imagine God, as it were, saying, "I can only help you if you allow me to." Or, "You have to help me help you." Tulungan mo akong tulungan kita. And what is the help that He is asking of us? Isang bagay lang, only one thing, faith. Faith as cooperation with God. Even if God wants it, it cannot happen if we don't want it for ourselves. It's not really all up to God. Part of it is up to us also. Remember that woman who was able to pressure Jesus into healing her daughter, even after being practically driven away already by the disciples, and after being snubbed by Jesus himself. That very strong-willed woman did not give up, even after Jesus said to her, "It is not right to get food from the master's table and give it to the dogs." Rather, she persisted. And she humbly said, "Sir, even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the master's table." And Jesus was so moved by her persistence. He said to her, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it now be done for you as you wish." And in another passage, St. Mark is almost suggesting that sometimes pwedeng nakawin yung grasya. Sometimes, grace could practically be stolen from Jesus by a strong faith. Ang malakas na pananampalataya ay pwedeng magnakaw ng biyaya. That's a bit paradoxical, I know. But you remember that woman with hemorrhage, yung babaeng dinudugo, who got healed just by touching the hem of the garments of Jesus. Mark tells us, hindi alam ni Jesus. Jesus did not know who it was who touched him. He did not know, but he knew that grace, that power had come out of him. And after the woman came out trembling and admitted that she was the one who touched him, then Jesus said to the grace thief, doon sa nagnakaw ng biyaya, Jesus said, "Daughter, your faith has saved you. Go now in peace and be cured of your affliction." He just gave a stamp of approval on something that had been done already. Yes, faith is about believing in the power of God's will. But we should not forget that it is also about God believing in the power of human will. The power of the human will. And God should know because He was the one who created us.